Hey guys, this is Zach with Team Covenant, and I've been reading a lot of reviews online for the Star Wars LCG. We were fortunate enough to get a couple copies at Fantasy Flight's World Championship weekend, and I thought I'd put my 2 cents in for what it's worth. Anyway, so one of the biggest complaints I've seen online is that it doesn't feel like Star Wars. At this point I've probably played 40 games. The first 5 to 10 games really didn't feel like Star Wars. It just felt like some kind of game we were playing with a Star Wars picture on top of it. But by the 8th, 9th, or 10th game, when it starts to click with both players, it really becomes amazing what happens. Now, what you also have to realize is that, as far as I can understand, the game itself sets up the players to play as the light side and the dark side of the Force. They represent different characters and whatnot, but ultimately, the entire game revolves around the balance of the Force. If the balance is with the dark side, they accomplish their mission way faster, and if it's with the light side, they can damage objectives without even having to attack. So, when you put everything in light of you playing either the light side or the dark side, and that being the goal, it changes everything. The first couple of games you play, you might just be throwing characters out and not really know what's going on. Not very many edge battles happen, not very many important edge battles happen. But once both players figure out actually how to win, the edge battles become a very big piece of the game. And you don't just attack every time, and there's a very subtle flavor to the whole thing that you actually start picking up on by your 10th, 11th, or 12th game. Sadly, most players don't give a game 12 games. Hopefully, because it's Star Wars, you will try it out that many times. Now, another complaint that I've seen a lot is the epicness of the game. They feel that it hasn't been, there's no epic, it's just always back and forth. Again, touching with the once you get to a certain number of games and skill level, the edge battles become the most epic piece of the game. I've had so many games that come down to a sequence of 2 or 3 edge battles over a turn or two that literally determine who gets to get rid of 3 objectives or who gets to the death clock at 12. And the epic battles are just, once you get to the point where they matter, and they will, that to me captures those moments in Star Wars where you're just on the edge of the seat. Will Luke blow up the Death Star? Will Obi-Wan beat Darth Vader? All those questions. The other thing that I've seen quite a bit in the reviews is they think that the gameplay is rushed. I completely disagree. Yes, first 4 or 5 games, you just throw stuff out there, play as many characters as you can. By game 10, I promise, you will be saving resources going into your opponent's turn. You won't be playing out as much. The only thing you're really going to care about is locking the board down and keeping the balance of the Force, because that's what it's all about. Just to touch on some of the flavor, someone like Yoda. I looked at his character at first. He didn't really feel like Yoda. I've used him in the past couple of games. I get him out absolutely like Yoda. All I ever do with Yoda is commit him to the Force. He's a cheap character for the Force icons he gives you for counting towards the Force. You don't ever really want to exhaust him and get rid of the Force icons or make him susceptible to something like Force Lightning, where they can just get rid of Yoda. He doesn't attack that much, but in the original trilogies he didn't really attack that much. He can definitely attack, he can lock down the board more than anything, but at the end of the day, that's not what he's there for. He's there to support and bring the balance to your side of the Force. So it's really interesting. I think the game is fantastic. Obviously, I've played 40 games at this point. I am absolutely in love. By game 20, it just clicked, and I'm excited about deck building. At this point, I actually don't even mind the fact that characters can attack ships, or ships can attack characters, and vice versa. The feel you get from the deck and the thematic, the decks work better as a theme almost, where the more ships you have, the better the objectives play off each other and off the cards on your board. So it's really interesting, really cool, lots of flavor. Super excited by the cards that have already been previewed in the Hoth cycle. And I can't personally wait. Very optimistic for this game. Love what they've done with the Star Wars license. The art's amazing, the game is great, and I'm really looking forward to the future. So if you've been reading these reviews online, count this one as 2 thumbs up. Can't wait for the rest of them. And don't listen to anybody else because they don't know what they're talking about.
All right. Thanks so much, Zach.